Okay, the Chapter 0 practice test problems from the end of the chapter in the textbook. Let's get into it. Problem 1, square root of 16. We should all be able to get 4 on that one. Problem 2, the cube root of 54x to the 6th. Let's split this up into the cube root of 27 times the cube root of 2, and then the cube root of x cubed, and the cube root of x cubed. So this turns into 3. This is the cube root of 2, nothing you can do about that. And both of these turn into x's. So we end up with 3x squared times the cube root of 2. Problem 3. Let's simplify from the inside out. So we'll have negative 3, 2 plus 25 plus 2. 3 minus 7, we can turn that into negative 4 minus 9 minus 1, just doing one step from each of the parentheses. So negative 3 times 27 plus negative 8 minus 8. And positive negative 8 minus 8 is going to be negative 16. Negative 3 times 27 is negative 81. Minus 8 minus 8, that is negative 89. Minus 8 is negative 97. Or the fifth root of negative 32, negative 2 to the 5th equals negative 32. So the answer here is just negative 2. And the square root of negative 12x squared, we can split this up into the square root of negative 1, the square root of 4, the square root of 3, and the square root of x squared. This turns into I, that turns into 2, that stays the square root of 3, this turns into x. So we would have 2ix times the square root of 3. Number 6, I to the 17th is I to the 16th times I to the 1st. That's just 1, so our answer is I. Problem 7, let's distribute that negative 2 to everything. So we have x to the negative 4, y to the positive 6, multiplying z to the positive 2, over x to the negative 1/2, y to the 1st, z to the 3 over 2. We'll deal with both of these. So negative 4 minus negative 1/2. We're going to subtract the fractional powers. So this is negative 4 plus 1/2. And on this, we'll end up with negative 3.5, which is negative 7 over 2. So we're going to end up with, as our final answer, x to the 7/2 in the denominator, because it's a negative. All right, with the y's, that's fairly straightforward. 6 minus 1 is 5. And then for the z's, we have 2 minus 3/2. 2 is the same as 4/2. Minus 3/2 is 1/2. So we will have z for the 1/2 in the numerator. Number 8, 3 minus 4 is negative 1 square root of x plus 5 is going to be 4 rad x. Number 9, 3 times the square root of 18 can be broken up into 9 and 2. 32 can be split up into 16 and 2. So this is 3 times 3 rad 2 minus 4 times 4 rad 2. And so we'll have 9 rad 2 minus 16 rad 2 and get negative 7 rad 2. On 10, we are foiling. First, 5 times rad 6 squared. And then outside, we're going to have plus 15 rad 12. And inside, minus 2 rad 12. And last, we'll have minus 6 rad 2 squared. So this is 5 times 6, which is 30. Put these together and get 13 rad 12. And then this is minus 6 times 4, which is 24. So we're going to end up with, from these two together, 6 plus 13 rad 12. Rad 12 is 4 and 3. So this is 6 plus 13 times 2 rad 3, which is 6 plus 26 rad 3. On 11, let's put our y squareds together. 3y squared. I'll do this vertically. Minus 5y plus 7 minus y squared plus 7y minus 13. So we've got 2y squared. If we minus here, we'll end up with negative 12y, and then plus 20 when we minus the negative. For 12, let's FOIL. First, x squared outside, inside, minus 15x, last, negative 21. 10x squared minus x minus 21. On 13, these are perfect squares. X minus 4, x plus 4. 14, a 3 comes out first. We're left with x squared plus 5x plus 6. And this factors to x plus 2 and plus 3. On 15, we have an AC of 36 and a B of 12. This happens to be a perfect square, 6 and 6. Put it over 4x. Put it over 4x. We're going to get 2x plus 3 and 2x plus 3, which we need to write as 2x plus 3, y, apologize, squared. We had y. 16. On this one, what multiplies to 1 and adds to negative 2? This is a perfect square. This is going to be x squared plus 1. Apologize, x squared minus 1 times x squared minus 1. Both of those factor. This is x plus 1 and x minus 1. This is x plus 1 and x minus 1. So we have x minus 1 squared and x plus 1 squared for 16. For 17, your AC is negative 2, and your B is negative 1. And what multiplies to negative 2 and adds to negative 1? Negative 2 times 1. Put it over your 2x. And we have x minus 1, 2x plus 1. (18). Our AC is negative 6, and our B is negative 1. And does anything multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 1? How about a negative 3 and a positive 2? And we can put this over at 6y. So this reduces to divided both by 3, 2 and 1, so 2y minus 1. And these reduce to a 3 and a 1, so 3y plus 1. 19, does anything multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 1? We just did that, negative 3 and 2 over your 2t. So we're going to have 2t minus 3 and t plus 1. And on this one, we do need to have a t out front because there's a t in common in all of these. All right, on 20, we are going to pull an x out also, and then our AC is negative 6 and our B is negative 5. So that's going to be a negative 6 and a positive 1 over 2x. And so we're going to have x plus 3 and 2x plus 1 with an x out front. 21, let's factor by grouping. We can pull an x out, and we're left with an x minus 3y. And on these two, we can pull a 4 out, and we can pull a y out, and we're left with x minus 3y. So our final answer is x plus 4y, x minus 3y. Let's factor by grouping on 22 as well. Pull an x squared out, we're left with x squared plus 5. We're going to pull out a negative 3, and so we're left with x squared plus 5, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So x squared minus 3, x squared plus 5. 23, a 3 is in common, so we'll pull a 3 out front. We're left with 27 plus x cubed. This is a perfect cube. 27 is 3 cubed plus x cubed. So we have 3 plus x, 9 minus 3x plus x squared with a 3 out front. And 24, there is an x in common. So we have 27 x cubed. And again, this is 3 cubed minus x cubed of x, 3 minus x, 9 plus opposite sign, 3x plus x. 27, let's factor this. So we'll have x minus 1 over, this is the difference of perfect squares, x minus 1, x plus 1, times x squared plus x plus 1 is prime, nothing you can do. The bottom is a perfect cube, x minus 1, x squared plus x plus 1. So let's go to cancel, cancels, and cancels. We're left with 1 over x minus 1, x plus 1. 28, the numerator factors to 2x plus 3 and 2x minus over x minus 15 and x plus 4, x minus 4, x plus 4, 2x plus 3. Let's go to canceling. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. And we're left with 2x minus 3 times x minus 4 over x minus 15. 29, x minus 3 over 2x minus 5 times 5 minus 2x over x plus 3, x minus 3. Cancel, cancel. 5 minus 2x is equal to negative 1, 2x minus 5. Okay? We didn't go over that. That would be extra credit level, but we could rewrite it as negative 2x minus 5. Cancel, cancel. We're left with negative 1 over 30. 1 minus t over 3t plus 1 times, let's factor this. We can pull out a 3t. And we're left with 3t. Sorry, 7t. And we're left with 1 plus 3t over, this is t minus 1 squared. So these cancel. And I'm going to rewrite this as negative 1 minus 1. If I can cancel these out. And so we're left with negative 1 times 7t on top and the t minus 1 in the denominator. So we're left with negative 7t over t minus 31, let's FOIL. We're going to get a 7. Outside, minus 5i. Inside, minus 21i. Last, 15i squared. And so we end up with 7 minus 26i minus 15. Remember, this is a negative 1. Final answer, 7 minus 15, negative 8 minus 26i. 32, let's multiply by the conjugate, 4 minus I over 4 minus I, and we'll FOIL the top. 8 outside is minus 2i, inside minus 44i, last is plus 11i squared over 16 minus I squared. Is going to be 8 minus 11, negative 3, minus 46i over 17, because you minus a negative. On 33, we've got 7 minus 2 rad 3. We're going to multiply by 4 plus 5 rad 3 over 4 plus 5 rad 3. So in the numerator, let's do the top. We've got 28 outside, 35 rad 3 inside, negative 8 rad 3. Last, we're going to get negative 10 times 3, which will end up being 30. In the denominator, 16 minus 25 times 3, which is 75. So let's clean this up. 28 minus 30 is negative 2. Write it down here. Negative 2 and plus 27 at 3 over 16 minus 75 is, what do we have there? 59, negative 59. And so we can clean up our negatives and have 2 minus, when these pull out, I will just leave it like that. That's fine. Don't need to clean that up. All right, 34, scientific notation, 1.55 times 10 to the negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on this last one, we're going to do it in your graphing calculator. So just in your calculator, plug in rad 5 divided by, in parentheses, rad 13, it's rad 7. Pause the video. Give me a second to pull that up. All right, so we said rad 5, square root of 5 divided by, in parentheses, the square root of 13. Oh, that square root's going over everything. So let's try that again. Second, square root of 5, and I'm going to move over, divided by, in parentheses, the square root of 13. That over, minus the square root of 7. I believe that is the problem. What do we got here? 5, 13 minus 7. So there we go. Hit enter. 2.3297. So it's going to round to 3.330. 2.330. All right. Questions asked me tomorrow during lunch or after school.